for the delay. Today we have a very interesting topic, which is very practical for us, which will help us in our own, sadhana, which is to chant. Now that we have covered the first course, which is the positive thinker course, focused on understanding reincarnation, whether it is fact or fiction, whether it is scientific or not. We understood many concepts there. So we also understood last week the concept of evolution as per our with scriptures. So this week onwards, we'll switch gears to the next course. So this is now the next level of knowledge, which will help us to even gain a deeper understanding. As the knowledge goes in, we need to also practice spirituality, the yoga part. For us, it is specifically chanting of Hare Krishna. And to deepen our understanding, to deepen our faith, we need to learn the aspects of it, the benefits of it, and how to practice those details. So that's why this topic. You can see my screen. Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a PPT for this. We'll go over this. I will share this document with you in the WhatsApp also, so that in case if you want, you can refer it later or even while I'm going through. Yeah, maybe we can just go over for now. Yeah. I'll share it after the session is done. So we are discussing the topic of scientific benefits of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. All of you, at least during the class we are chanting. I hope, many of you are chanting at home as well. So let's understand in depth some of the aspects of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which will help us, to further increase our chanting. We need to build our spiritual muscle, and that requires us to chant, more and more. We all started doing one. If we can do more, it will only benefit us more. So you can all repeat after me. Hare Nama, Hare Nama. This is the words I'm repeating right now. This is from Brihad Naradi Purana. Hare Nama, Hare Nama.
Hare Nama, Hare Nama.
Hare Namaiva Kevalam.
Hare Namaiva Kevalam.
Kalau Nascheva Nascheva Nascheva.
Kalau Nasteva Nasteva Nasteva.
Gatiranyata.
Gatiranyatha.
So this verse is from Brihad Naradi Purana. And what does it mean? In the age of Kali, this age is Iron Age, Kali Yuga. Out of the 4 yugas, this is the last age, and which is considered the most difficult of all times, the most materialistic age. So this age is primarily dominated by quarrel and hypocrisy. These qualities are predominantly seen in this age. And the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And it says, Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva. Nastyeva means no other way, no other way, no other way. 3 times. Why is it emphasized 3 times? It is to give them, to just to say that there is no other means other than this. Means this is the best means of deliverance. What is it? To chant the holy name of Hari, Hare Nama. So there are 4 ages. The first age is called Satya Yuga. And in Satya Yuga, people are in general very, they were practicing austerities and practicing meditation for a very long time. Mostly people are sinless, and they will all achieve life's highest perfection after the lifetime is done. So, and in next yoga, which is Treta Yoga, there is 25% of contamination. 70% is still pure. People who are jignasu, they were people are gnanavan. They are very knowledgeable. They were again practicing spirituality to a good extent. And the third age is Dwapar Yoga, the one before us, where Lord Krishna appeared, which is 50% contaminated compared to the previous one, which was 75% or 25% contaminated. But people are at least inquisitive about, who am I, who is God? They're inquiring. But in Kali Yuga, we understand that people have degraded to the lowest. There was no inquisitiveness about spirituality. People were, all the thinking around in their mind is just about how I can, fulfill my material desires. That is the only prominent aspect in the life of people of Kali Yuga. Yeah. So, and people in the past were able to perform spiritual practices which were far more difficult for this age. For example, in Satyuga, people would they would meditate for for a very long time, the 60% of their lifetime, and they would go to forest and practice meditation for a very, very long time, and we can't do such things. And in next stage, which is Treta Yoga, they used to go and practice large yajnas, very, very, uh, brahmanas very, very pure, and the ingredients were very pure. So they would perform these elaborate yajnas, and with mantras, they would start fire. That is the potency of the people of Treta Yuga, Lord Ram's time. And we don't even have such pure ingredients today. We don't even have such brahmanas who are dedicated to, who are so versatile, very knowledgeable, and who can start fire with, chanting of the mantra. We don't have such people. So that is not even practical in the current days. And the next stage is Dwapar Yuga, where temple worship is prominent. People used to have large temples in the days, and every day, the people of the world would go visit temples and practice spirituality in that way. And the decorations were elaborate, deities were elaborate, and pujas were elaborate. Even that is not so prominent in Kali Yuga. Right? If you hear about Dwapar Yuga in Vrindavan alone, that's a place of where Lord Krishna was born. In Vrindavan alone, there were 5,000 temples. Even today, you can find more than 5,000 temples. So that is the culture overall in that age. Everywhere, just like now, everywhere there are shops for everything. At least there were temples like that in the Dwapara age. But in Kali Yuga, we don't have such interest. Neither people have that much time. They were, challenged even to meet their basic needs. That is the situation of Kali Yuga. And in this age, we don't have the mental capacity to to meditate for long lifetimes, or good percentage of lifetime. Or do we have pure ingredients to perform yajnas? Neither brahmanas were there. We don't even have great temple worships going on in this age. So knowing all the situation, Lord has given a very simple method for this age, which is easy to practice. What is it? Just chant the holy name of the Lord repeatedly. And it has the same benefit as what is achieved in Satyuga through the process of meditation, long meditation, Ashtanga Yoga, or in Treta Yuga through elaborate yajnas, or through great temple worship in the Dwapara age, the same benefit is available by just chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that is why, and Puranas specifically mention what is relevant for each age. If we don't get guided by such knowledge, we will do whatever we want and we won't have the same benefit. Just like we consult a doctor and only take a specific medicine for our, ailment or health issue, right? We don't take any medicine available in a medical shop. The reason is we have a specific disease and that particular disease is cured by specific medicine. So for this is the medicine to cure our mental issues, mental illness, which is conditioning within the material existence, is cured by the process of chanting of the Hari's name. That is the best method. Right? So that is why it is mentioned in this way. And yeah. So the Vedas proclaim the chanting of transcendental name is the best and only yoga practice for this dark age of conflict and quarrel and misunderstanding, terror and tension. Yeah. So there is no other method. Yeah. So there is a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam in 12th canto. So that says, Kaler dosha nide rajan astahi eko mahan guna kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. Kaler dosha nidhe razam. Kaler dosha nidhe razam means this years Kali Yuga is full of faults. It's like an ocean of faults. In an ocean, you cannot, like there is a limitless number of things in an ocean. So similarly, in this age, even if you want to perform yajna, even if you want to perform, temple worship, the possibility of doing it faultless is impossible. Even if you want to practice other methods that were working fine in the other ages, it's not practical. It's not, but there is one good thing about this age in that, in that verse. It's Asti Eka Mahan Guna. There is one great quality. What is that? It says, Kirtanat Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Lord Hari's name, one can become free from all material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Mukta Sangha Param Vrajat. He will achieve the highest perfection and will achieve, liberation from. So even though this age is the worst time to be born, but there is great advantage. Just by practicing simply the chanting of the holy name, one can achieve the highest benefit, which is not even possible in other ages. You see? So there is also benefit to this. In fact, in Bhagavatam, there are verses in the 7th and 8th cantos where even great demigods, Mahapurushas of the cosmic system, they are praying to the Lord to be born in Kali Yuga so that they can achieve the highest perfection by chanting the holy name. There are verses of that, to that effect. Yeah. So there is one more verse that is this, right? Hare. So this is a conversation between Narada Muni and Brahma, at the beginning of Kali Yuga. So because Narada Muni is Trikalagna, he knows what is past, he knows what is current and what is coming in the future. Knowing the plight of the people of the upcoming years, Narada Muni asks Lord Brahma, his father, what would help deliver the people of Kali Yuga? And Narada Muni says, Brahma says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Iti Sodashakam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, Natah Paratarav Pya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. Iti Sodasakam Nam. These 16 syllables, what do? Kali Kalmasha Nashanam. The faults of Kali Yuga, which are innumerable, like faults in ocean, will be nashana, means will be destroyed completely. Just by repeating these names with our tongue, the effects of this Kali Kalmasha will be destroyed completely. Natah Parataropaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. Looking at all the Vedic knowledge, there is no higher or a better upaya. Para taro para paya means there is no other upaya other than the chanting of the holy name given in the Vedas. In the entire Vedic wisdom, there is no other better method. Yeah. So this is the conclusion of Vedas, right? So the Maha Mantra of 16 names destroy all events and bad propensities and contaminations of a heart, like lust, greed, anger, lamentation, illusion, and fear, rendering the heart like a clean mirror. Right? Our heart is like a mirror. Our heart is like a mirror, but that mirror is covered by dust. If you look at a mirror and the mirror has, say, sprinkles of dust, can you see your true self? You cannot see your face. Your face doesn't look in the mirror because the dust is covering. So our original spiritual nature is also being covered in the same fashion by the contaminations in the heart. What are the unwanted contaminations in our heart? There is lust, there is anger. We all have experiences of all of this. Do you all agree? Do you all agree that at some point you were unnecessarily being angry or unnecessarily being greedy, or you are very, very lamenting about, what is the future of me, or, what will happen to me, or, or lamenting for what you lost in the past? Isn't that true?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we all experience this. And illusion, we get illusioned oftentimes thinking, thinking great plans as if, everything is in our hand, right? And then fear, we fear so many things, right? So all these unwanted qualities in our heart, right? They will be cleaned. Then you can truly witness your true self. So that's what chanting of the holy name does. The holy name will cleanse your heart. And naturally, when the cleansing happens, just like sun, right? Suppose, in India, sometimes in the villages, people go for toilet on the roads, on the side of the roads, because of lack of facilities. But, uh, as soon as sun comes, all these contaminations on the road would get eradicated, right? There could be, garbage, but just by the appearance of sun's heat, all this contamination will be wiped off from the face of earth. So similarly, the holy name is like sun. When it appears in the mind, the holy name is like sun, and it immediately destroys all the negative thinking in your mind. Just like our mind has so many dark corners, which we don't even know. We don't even know how greedy we are, how lusty we are, how illusioned we are, how much fearful we are. All these negativities will be completely, right now, for example, when things are dark, when light is off, you can't see anything. That is the situation of a person who doesn't have access to the holy name. Mind is filled with all these negative qualities. Now, as soon as chanting appears, slowly and steadily, you start getting rid of all these negative qualities, just like sun dries up all the bad things on the face of earth. You see? So that will happen in our life. So this is what? This is given in Kali Santarana Upanishad. Kali means the age of Kali. Sant means saintly people. Tarana means which will help cross the ocean of middle existence, right? So in the age of Kali, the santas, the people who are knowledgeable or people who are saintly, they will cross over the ocean of material existence with the help of the holy name of the Lord. So that's what this means. So this Upanishad specifically addressing the aspects, the problems of Kali Yuga, mentions this as the solution, remedy. Right now, first, to chant with conviction, we need to understand the meaning of Mahamantra. Unless we understand, we cannot really appreciate. Even though the power of holy names still work, just like you take a tablet, not knowing the purpose and value of it, still the medicine has its value. Medicine will work through your heart, so through your body, and and fix your health disease. Knowing will really double your conviction, and you will never forget to take the medicine, right? So let's understand the meaning of this Mahamantra. Yeah. This Mahamantra is an address to two aspects. One is Radha and Krishna. So it has three words. Hare Krishna Mahamantra has three words: Hare, Krishna, and Rama. Now let's understand the meaning of each, right? So the word Hare, Hare refers to the energy of the Supreme Lord. The energy of the Supreme Lord, and the energy. So there is Lord, and everything else is an expansion or the energy of the Supreme Lord, including ourselves. We are also the energy of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Now there is internal potency of the Lord. Internal potency which is Antaranga Shakti, which is internal to the Supreme Lord. That is the Radharani. Radharani is represented as the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. She's a personality. It's not like it's just energy. Doesn't mean it's just lifeless. She is the supreme devotee of Lord Krishna. Yeah. Now the prayer of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is about requesting. Let me clarify the meaning of word Rama. Rama, we think it is the meaning of either Lord Rama or Lord Balarama, right? But specifically in this Mahamantra, Rama actually means Radha Raman. One Lord Krishna is also known as Radha Raman. The meaning is Lord is very much pleased by the devotion of Radha. Okay, so Raman means one who relishes, one who delights in the devotion service of Radha. So that Rama means actually the one who delights in the devotion of Srimati Radha, who is the greatest devotee. When we say Radha, she represents the greatest devotee of Lord. So the prayer of Mahamantra is about requesting to engage ourselves in the service, in the eternal devotion service of Lord Krishna. It is not a prayer to ask something from Lord, anything material. It is purely spiritual desire of the heart. Because why we want to be engaged in the service of the Lord? Because first we should understand why the aspect of service we are requesting, right? What is about service? Service is the second nature of the soul. Please understand this concept very clearly. It is the dharma of the soul. What is dharma of a thing, right? Dharma of a thing is something inseparable from the object. For example, the dharma of sugar is sweetness. If you take out sweetness, you cannot call that as sugar. The dharma of fire is heat and light. If you take out heat, you take out light, fire has lost its intrinsic dharma or properties, characteristics. Correct? So that is called, what is intrinsic to an object is called its dharma. Now, what is it that is intrinsic to the soul? The intrinsic property of the soul is to engage in the service. Doesn't matter what it is, but it has to serve. In service, we become happy. Look at your own life. You cannot be happy just by enjoying a thing forever. When you engage in true service to somebody or something, to your office or to your mother, to your father, to your brother, or to your country, or to your, anything, that is when you derive true happiness. Look at your own, examine your own life. Everybody is engaged in service. From president is also engaged in the service of the people. Nobody can say I'm not engaged in service. Service is the second nature of soul. Now the question is, what am I engaged in service of? In this world, we are engaged in the service of the material energy of the Lord in general, right? So that is how we are engaged in this world. Now, to achieve spiritual goal, we need to engage in the service of the Supreme Lord. The highest is always to serve the Supreme Lord because he is the source of everything, right? We may be currently engaged in the service of, say, Microsoft, but that is a temporary engagement to help meet our material needs. That is all it is. And Microsoft is a means arranged by the Lord to engage you. That's all. That's all it is. But your ultimate engagement is, or your ultimate relation is with Lord Krishna. He is the Supreme Lord, and we are part and parcel of him, right? Right. So being part of Lord, we are eternally connected to the Lord, and we don't, in the material world, because we are covered with illusion, we are, due to the, influence of the modes of material nature in this world, we are covered by illusion. So we don't feel that natural affinity towards, devotion to the Lord. We don't have natural attraction. For example, a mother loves her child very naturally. There is nothing artificial about it. Correct? It's very natural. A girl falls in love with a boy, or a boy falls in love with a girl very naturally. Because we are, as long as in the, under the control of the three modes of material nature, that is our natural material nature. But that is when we are, having these illusory aspects in our mind, right? All these kama, krodha, lobha, madamatsariyas. When these things are removed, right? We are like, fire covered with, what is it called? Fog, right? The fire is, the fire's lightning is subdued because of too much of the fog around it. But when you reignite the fire, the fog is gone. So similarly, when our mind is cleansed of all the unwanted things, we are situated in our natural constitutional position. At that time, we naturally feel love for the Lord, just much far better than the love of mother to a child. There is so much love. So that is then there is great joy of heart. Every minute your heart will pump with joy. And that is possible when you chant, continuously, and you advance spiritually. Your life is a, bundle of joy every minute. That is what this whole Krishna consciousness will take us to as we advance spiritually. But to get there, we need to start somewhere. Right now, we don't have any taste. For example, a person afflicted with jaundice disease, if you give him a sugar cane, what does he say? He says, it is also, sour. He says it's not tasty or tasteless, he would say. Because it's not the problem with the sugar. It is the problem with the disease that the person has. The tongue is unable to taste. Today, when we chant, it is just a practice of repeating the names. We may not feel the taste. But the same name, just like a mother, when she calls her daughter's name, Shruti, like that she calls, for example, there is joy in for mother in her heart. So similarly, when we chant the holy name of Lord, when we are pure at heart, much more transcendental joy will gush forth in our heart. We don't experience now because we don't have that connection with the Lord yet. But mother has that connection with her daughter. Then she feels that. We don't feel that. We don't, as a third person, I don't feel that same affection for that personality. But mother feels that. So similarly, when we develop affection, and that is a natural affection, by the way, it's not like artificially we are trying to build to some supernatural power. That personality is 100% conscious. And when we develop that love for that personality, he will reciprocate with us. It's not like it's one way love until we achieve the perfection. But when we get there, we experience that. Okay. So if you want to make your life, peaceful, irrespective of what you have materially, your material situation is completely determined based on your sanchit karma or your past, what you have done in the past. You cannot change it. But what is in your hand is what you can grow spiritually, because that is completely aligned to your free will. When you use your free will, your time available in the right way, you can grow spiritually much farther in life and achieve the highest perfection. Irrespective, you may have the worst disease in your life as you had is, but holding on to spirituality will only fill your heart with greater and greater joy. Now here, when we chant, so now we understand the meaning of Mahamantra and why we chant. We chant because we want ourselves to be engaged in the service of the Lord, in the devotion service of the Lord. Because that is the nature of us. We are all, naturally inclined to perform service. That is the nature of the soul. And now, after understanding this mantra, how do we chant? We should chant just like a child crying for its mother. We should not chant without any conscious effort. The conscious effort should be like a child crying for its mother, right? When a child cries for its mother, it cries like as if her life depends on her mother. Then mother immediately attends to whatever she's doing. She's cooking or doesn't matter. She'll stop and she will go and attend. When we have that fervent desire, uh, for the Lord's service, when we engage in that same spirit of desperate cry, immediately you can see how you advance spiritually. So this is the mood one should chant. We may not be there right now, we will get there, but keep that in mind at least. Okay. So that is the right spirit in which we should chant. Any questions so far? I covered almost 30 minutes. So I want to pause for a minute and give you a chance to ask a question. Does it all make sense? Any reactions, or feel free to express yourself. No questions? Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. Now we understand the meaning. What does the Mahamantra do? Right? We should understand what is the potential of this Mahamantra. So this Mahamantra, as we already discussed, it removes the bad qualities from the mind. First of all, we should understand what is mind. right? We already discussed this in the previous classes. Mind is a central repository. We have 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. What are the 5 jnanendriyas? Anybody would like to answer? Jnanendriya, the word means the indriya that helps to acquire jnana or knowledge. How do we acquire knowledge in this world? What are the senses that help? For example, you want to understand or gain the knowledge of gulab jamun. How do you get the knowledge of gulab jamun? By tasting, right? By tasting, you know the taste of it. So tongue is a jnanendriya. You would see something. Oh, you call a rose as, oh, this is bright red rose. By seeing, you gain the knowledge of rose. By seeing, you gain knowledge of everything in this world, right? So by seeing, you gain the knowledge. By tasting, you gain the knowledge. So tongue, eyes. So similarly, by hearing, we all heard all through our college education, school education. By hearing, we gain knowledge. By touching, by skin, you gain the knowledge. So these are the indriyas, jnanendriyas. By nose, you smell and gain the knowledge. So these are the jnanendriyas that help us gain the knowledge in this world. And knowledge is gained, stored in the mind. Now, this knowledge we will act on it. So those are called karmendriyas, which will perform actions with the knowledge gained through jnanendriyas by the direction of the mind. You see how all these things are related? So jnanendriyas gain knowledge. Knowledge is stored in the mind. Intelligence is another aspect. The knowledge will be consulted with the intelligence. Should I do this or not? And then karmendriyas are inspired to act. You go, okay, there is gulab jamun. You observe through your eyes. And mind says, go eat it. And then intelligence says, no, it's not good for you. You already eaten 2. Stop there. Don't eat more. But mind is so, adamant. It really want to taste it. What does it do? It will override intelligence and will make its karmendriyas. Karmendriyas are the workers. It will make your legs, hands operate, right? Legs will go towards gulab jamun, hand will pluck it and put it in the tongue and you taste, wow, delicious. So that is how the whole body operates. Jnanendriyas, mind, intelligence, and then karmendriyas, right? Now your mind is filled with all these negative qualities. When when you perform chanting of the holy name, your your connection with the Lord will strengthen, right? That is called yoga. Yoga means connection. When that connection is built, right, your mind becomes light. Your mind becomes very light because you have that. Just like, for example, you are loitering in the street without parents. Suddenly you discovered your father, right? Your parents. Then you have full protection. You have a home to go. You have brothers and sisters to play. You have somebody to take care of your education, somebody to take care of your health needs, your day-to-day food needs, or everything is taken care. You are like a child. You are just dependent. That's why children are completely tension-free, because they don't need to worry. Their parents are there to take care of them, right? But as you age, your ego becomes strong. When you start depending on yourself, you think you are the master of everything. Now again, we have to become light. Understand that there is a higher power. There is the Supreme Lord who is actually managing the whole thing. And he knows what is best for you and gives you that. And we start connecting with him and we start depending on him, start praying to him. Then he will, make your life light like a child, right? Just like children are tension free, you will also become tension free, right? Yeah. So mantra, literally the word means mantrayate iti mantra. It delivers mind. What is delivering mind means the mind is filled with all these negative qualities. It is filled with bad habits, dissatisfaction, depression, anxiety, tensions, fears, ignorance, greed, envy, anger, pride, intolerance, impatience, right? These negative qualities. So mantra will completely get rid of all these negativities, liberate your mind from all these negative qualities. And it awards. So just like, right, suppose you have a glass filled with dirty water. Mantra will cleanse your water and fill with, nice payasam of, semia, something like that. So it will fill with positive aspects. What are those things? It will fill you with peace of mind. There is serenity in your life. There is security. Like I said, you have somebody to trust, connect with anytime. You have steady intelligence. You are not wavering anymore in life. You know what is right, what is wrong very clearly. You have happiness. You don't need to achieve happiness in other aspects. Chant the holy name, your heart will be filled with happiness. You will become very efficient at work. You see, people don't have time beyond working and taking care of family. But for example, many volunteers like me, we spend so much time thinking about how to conduct your program nicely, how to arrange nice prasadam for you, how to travel to you, how to prepare for giving a class to you. Why do we spend all of that time? It's our service to Lord. And we know Lord is pleased. Just like, you take care of your brothers, your father will be happy, isn't it? That's exactly how we are dealing with, all these services that we do. You attain cool head and you creatively think because you are not bogged down by fear. When you are bogged down by fear, you cannot be creative. You will have a natural, joyful disposition in life. You will not waste time in unnecessary thoughts, right? As soon as negative thought comes, I will stop right there. I'll not spend more time on that. And ultimately, we'll achieve the highest perfection by getting liberated from the birth, death, old age, and disease. See, these aspects are all possible by the chanting of the holy name. Yeah, so and it delivers our mind. That's what we learned now. So another aspect is it helps us connect with the Supreme Lord. Just like, for example, when you want to talk to your parents in India, what do? You open your mobile, press the number, and the connectivity gets established, and then you talk to them, right? So similarly, the holy name is the spiritual mobile connection. It's like a spiritual mobile phone. When you chant the holy name, you are directly connected to the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So, for example, there are so many such pastimes in the Vedic Puranas. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam describes the story of Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti was in Hastinapur at the time, and Lord Krishna was in Dwaraka. He was the king of Dwaraka. Almost Dwaraka is in the Gujarat, almost western border, and Delhi is in the northern hemisphere of India. Practically, the distance between the two is at least 24 hours of train, right? So more than 1,000 miles. However, when Queen Kunti, at the time when Akrura comes there, she would remember her situation, and she was grief stricken because of the situation they are in. She has 5 young children, very young Pandavas, and but the position in Hastinapur, where they are living, with after the father's death, after the children's father's death, there are a lot of politics and all these, strong men, Dhritarashtra and many other, Shakuni and others. They were, constantly planning how to wipe out these Pandavas and Kunti. So they were, in a very tough situation. So she would remember Lord Krishna, and immediately Lord would appear, hearing her prayer. You see, so Lord was, in Dwaraka, while Queen Kunti was praying, immediately Lord appears right before Queen Kunti. You can see the picture here, right? So he appears right before and offers her, offers her protection right away, right? So we can see how Lord immediately reciprocates. Now you may ask, how about us? We also pray, but our prayer are not at that purity level. So it will take time. But when you are there, there is no, there is nothing less of you. You can achieve the same thing that what great devotees in the past have done. For example, 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya did the same things. He had seen Lord right in front of him, when he was going through, spiritual ecstasies. Even in the life of Srila Prabhupada, there are many instances when he had direct witness of the Lord Krishna, especially when he was traveling on Jaladuta to America. At the time, Lord has appeared in his spiritual mind and pacified him. So in this way, we can, we may not realize, we may not think that, just by chanting how Lord is, is Lord really listening to me? We may feel like that, but because Lord is everywhere, there is nothing like, there is no place where Lord is not there. Huh? Like we say, Anta Ramamayam in Telugu they say. So it means Lord is everywhere, in every atom also is there. So Lord would listen from him. We can see when Prahlad Maharaj would call for the Lord in the pillar, he would immediately appear from that, because Lord is there everywhere. So we don't need to, be worried that, I'm chanting, whether Lord is hearing. Is it just like when you talk in mobile, your parents are not before you, but you can hear them as if they are, just by your side, correct? So similarly, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the spiritual mobile for us, and we will be immediately connected. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. How do we know that Lord hears our call? Yeah, so that we discussed already. How Queen Kunti, even the story of Draupadi is the same. When she was being disrobed in the, in the assembly of Kurus, she would immediately call out, fully surrender herself. He would call, Hey Govinda, Hey Govinda, Hey Krishna, like that she would call. Immediately, Lord would appear right before her eyes. And at the time, Lord was in Dwaraka, taking prasadam, right? He was eating prasadam. And then immediately he hears Draupadi's prayers, and he immediately physically comes, appears right before her. Yeah. Not only for humans, even for animals. There was the Gajendra Moksha. How many of you know Gajendra story? The story of Gajendra Moksha? Can raise your hand. Does anybody know? No? Yeah, Arjun Prabhu knows. Okay. Yeah. Let me just briefly tell. So Gajendra Moksha is in Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Gajendra. So the Gajendra actually was a king in the past life. His name is, comes in the Pandya dynasty. So one time, Agastya Muni comes to his dynasty, his kingdom, And at the time, this king was not very careful. He was not very, like, what do you say? Not very careful about etiquette of treating Agastya Muni, right? So Agastya was a little bit offended because a saint has to be treated as per his norms. That is the proper etiquette. Otherwise, saint is eligible to teach the lesson, right? So he gets a little bit upset and he curses him. Because you are acting like a dull elephant, you become an elephant in the next life. However, this Pandya king, he was a good devotee as well. He himself, practices devotional life. So even in the body of an elephant, he would he would be, remembering the Lord, right? So not immediately, he was dull. But one time, Gajendra goes to sports in the waters with all the other elephants. The whole elephant herd goes for a sporting adventure. And one strong crocodile catches hold of his leg. And there is the whole story of Gajendra Moksha, where Gajendra, going through all the pain and being in water, his strength gets weakened over a period of time. Finally, he completely, you know, gives up hope, and then finally he remembers at the time, even in the body of Gajendra, the devotion service that he had done in the past helps him remember the prayers that he had done in the past. You see, that is the benefit of spiritual practices. You don't lose the credits. You build on top of what you have already built in the past. So he started from where he left in the past life. So he would start praying to the Lord. As a matter of fact, he wouldn't even remember Lord as a personality and all. He would just anonymically speak about Lord in those verses. If you see, he says like, "O source of everything, O absolute truth," like that. Such words he would call out, and immediately Lord would come, flying on the back of Garuda in a moment, and he's immediately protected, right? So in this way, the holy name helps us connect with the Lord. It's like a spiritual mobile. Okay. Yeah. So now there are a couple of questions here. What is the easiest way to connect with the Supreme Lord? 4 answers here. You can all read. Can you all read? And tell me the answer.
Number A, by calling him, by chanting his holy names.
Yes, by calling him, by chanting. The other processes are there: studying Vedic literature, performance of yajna, visiting temple. They're all great. They all will help you. But ultimately, it is the chanting of the holy name that connects us with the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Queen Kunti called Krishna when he was not present before her. What do you infer?
Yeah.
Yeah, A, correct. So just like a Bluetooth connects, Queen Kunti was connected through the holy name of Krishna to the Supreme Lord, right? So just like, when you want to call your parents, what do? Just pick up phone and call. You don't think twice about it. It's your second nature. Your subconscious mind is already trained to do that. Similarly, whenever you feel anxiety, any negative qualities, immediately there is one shelter for you. You can spiritually connect to the Supreme Lord by chanting the holy name, and you have full protection, right? Be assured of that. We may not even have that faith right now, I understand. But over a period of time, you start chanting, more and more. Right now, you're all, started chanting one round. Try to increase that number. Immediately, you may think, oh, I don't have so much time. but you will all have time. When you understand the importance of it, you will realize this is the most important thing in your life actually. I'm doing this for almost 17, 18 years since my college days. And it only increased. And because I increased this, everything else Krishna arranges such that everything else goes smoothly without disturbance. You see, when you prioritize, time is also energy of the Lord. Time aspect is the energy of the Lord. Understand this. This is a very uh, critical concept. Time will arrange everything around you such that you can continue to practice spiritual life. This is the assurance of Lord. Right? When you have to take one step forward. You don't worry about how I can. There is so much universal mechanisms that we don't understand. But you make right priorities, things will work out. Okay. So I have time to chant. I chant almost like 2 hours. You don't need to right now. That's not your maybe adhikar for right now, but it's possible. I know thousands of devotees do that. So try to increase from where you are. If you are doing 1 round, try to increase to 2 rounds. Eventually, in 6 months, try to increase to 4 rounds. Okay, so because that will build spiritual muscle. Just like in weightlifting, you start with the smallest dumbbell. You do it for 3 months. What do you do next? You increase maybe 10 more kilos. That is how you build your muscle, physical muscle. So similarly, to increase our spiritual muscle, we need to increase the rounds. Okay. So think about it. I'm not saying you should do it from tomorrow, but think about it seriously. This is for your benefit. Okay. You will appreciate it when you get older. See, my teacher told me that really helps me today. That's what you would think at a later point in your life. Okay, now it's 1 hour. We already discussed a lot. We can continue this remaining section in the next session. So there are very lot more interesting concepts. How do we control mind? How all these aspects work together? Yeah. Any questions so far? If not, I would like us to chant 1 round together. Is everything clear? Do it all make sense? Maybe you can all speak one line about what what's your takeaway, or is that okay with everyone? Just one line. Yeah, let's start with
Yes,
Arjun.
Prabhuji.
Mithun Prabhu,
Sure.
you can
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji. So yeah, I think like chanting Hare Krishna is really important to feel us closer to our spiritual world. So that will be on the way to like praise our Supreme Lord, and kind of forget about all our like the material problems of our life. So yes, I think chanting every day Hare Krishna's mantra is very, very, very important.
Correct. Yeah, it's like medicine, right? While while you are living in this world, you have to deal with material problems anyway. But this is the medicine that adds value to your life truly. So we should continue
Yes.
to chant. Correct. Thank you.
Yep,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
next, who would like to go? Nirupama, you want to say?
Yes, Prabhuji. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the most powerful mantra. And if we chant now, even during the time of the death, if we cannot remember Krishna's name or any of the feelings, if we could not express, then he will come to our rescue. That is what I understand.
Yeah, it's the most powerful mantra. That's a very good statement. It's like chanting the holy name, especially in the morning. If you do, it's like vaccinating yourself. When you suppose during COVID, all of us remember, right? We all vaccinated ourselves. Without vaccination, if you go into the city, what happens? You get the COVID disease. So this middle world is full of negativities, negative qualities. To survive, without getting materially injured, to have Lord's protection through your life, you want to, just like you eat food every day to strengthen your body, to strengthen your soul, it's good to chant every day. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Santosh Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, I agree that like we need to like chant in the morning. Like I was about to ask that question, like what is the good time to chant? Uh, but at the same time, like how do you chant with involvement? Like I don't want to chant because I should chant, these many times, or because my parents said to me that you should chant. How do I start liking the chanting?
Hmm. Yeah, liking the chanting will take time, but first thing is to be not distracted when chanting.
Hmm.
That will happen when, I think this is part of next week's discussion, but let me tell you, when you try to reduce the distractions, for example, that's why in the homes in India, we always have a prayer room. Prayer room is full of pictures of Lord, and you sit there, there is a divine atmosphere, and if you take to any spiritual practice like chanting the holy name there, your mind is totally peaceful and at ease. And what do you do when you chant? You don't try to remember anything, you just try to hear and hear. Focus your mind on hearing the holy name. It's like mind getting bombarded with the holy name. Mind
Hmm.
is bombarded with all the negative desires right now. Now mind will touch and remove all those negative qualities, just like brushing, right? You brush your, say, your clothes after coming from holy. You want to brush it so that all the colors will go away, something like that. So we have all these negative qualities from so many past lifetimes. So all those will be rubbed away with the detergent of holy name.
Hmm.
Right? Yeah, you don't need to start like a specific number, but we all chant like 108 mantras as a we call it as a round. One round
Hmm.
is 108 mantras. So we chant like 108 to start with. Yeah, so just to keep some regularity, just like we eat certain food so that our body gets certain strength. That regularity helps you keep growth path, right? For example, then you can multiply at a later point when you develop taste. The taste will come over a period of time, just like I gave you the example of you know uh, eating sugar candy when you are diseased.
Hmm.
Have jaundice, sugar candy tastes you know very bad. It tastes like Karela. Sugar candy tastes like Karela.
Hmm.
Karela is, we all know Karela how it is. So people feel like that when initially, oh, what am I gaining? It's just mechanical thing. What have it to do with chanting? People feel like that. But the same candy is the cure for jaundice. If you eat that sugar candy more and more day and in the evening, that same thing cures your jaundice. When jaundice is cured, the same sugar candy now tastes sweeter. Correct or not?
Yeah.
So similarly, how do you gain the taste? The medicine itself will become sweet when over a period of time. That requires patience and steady practice.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Also, like one thing that's helpful is you are also explaining the meaning
Mhm.
behind the Sanskrit words. Like I don't know Sanskrit, so that's actually helpful. Like sometimes it's like when you recite shlokas and stuff, like I don't know the meaning actually. So yeah,
It's it becomes a lot more meaningful to us, right? When
yeah,
we do something, we want to know the purpose and meaning behind it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Nirupam Matas, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, when we start this chanting process, it is better to select a secluded place and close your eyes and holding the bead That may help initially.
Initially.
And though our intention need not be complete the full round, and systematically, we will increase that.
Correct.
That is one. That's
Correct.
the little easy way for introducing to chant.
That's true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ravi Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, I feel that so while coming to the class, so at once in weekend, week, it's like very nice for me, because like in like material world, like so many distractions, so many stress. So first things I will happy to like join this type of class, and it's really help a lot towards like going through the spirituality. And I think that like a starting point chanting, maybe like just the kirtan will be a very nice idea to start with. Uh, that will be like more involved in like going towards the like chanting or like yeah yeah, that's my opinion.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point that Ravi Prabhu mentioned. If you keep hearing kirtan, because kirtan is melodious and it immediately fulfills your heart. You develop liking for chanting the holy name also. That also another way to develop taste for holy name. Thank you. Yeah. So like another point you mentioned, Ravi, that's very important. It is very important for us to come together like this every week. Otherwise, our spirit to grow spiritually will slowly weaken and dwindle. I see a lot of people start and some of them don't take it seriously and slowly become weakened spiritually. So it's very important to keep our spirit strong. Okay. So it's important for all of you to continue these classes. Better is to come always in person. I know all of you come mostly, but let's continue this journey. I'm sure you would really appreciate down your lifetime. I am very grateful to the teacher who taught me in IIT Chennai. Even today, I always feel my heart will fill with gratitude for what he had given to me individually, right? Because that has changed the whole perspective, worldview, and my purpose of life and everything. And what more better thing than to imbibe the teachings of Gita and practice in your own life and chant the Mahamantra. That is the highest, best thing that can happen to one's life, right? How many in this world are really, at a place where you are like trying to understand the purpose of life and aligning your life to the higher principles, right? So we should feel fortunate and we should prioritize this. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Divya Chopra, you want to speak something?
Um, just that if we chant, then we become calm and we become better equipped to deal with the material world, and we also grow spiritually,
Yes,
advancer and stronger.
absolutely right. Yeah. So by focusing on spirituality, the negative qualities automatically go. You don't need to try driving the negative qualities separately. A lot of people don't like their negative qualities, right? Their anger, they don't like their anger. But it's not easy to drive that anger without filling yourself with something positive. You see, chanting the holy name is like adding positive thinking in your life. Negative things will lose their space out. They will space out right away, right? So just like when you fill a bowl with good things, all the bad things in that have no space anymore. So similarly, when our mind is filled with positive things, like chanting the holy name, reading Bhagavad Gita, hearing a class, you get positive thinking, you get positive knowledge, and now you start seeing the world in a very positive light. Thank you. Arjun Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, what I found from chanting is like our heart, we have like mountain of garbage in our heart. So from past life or from this life. So when we start chanting, the it's like poking the garbage of mountain. So so it everything starts to come out, and we feel like, oh no, I've become more sinful by chanting. Oh, what is happening to me, and all this like that. And the same thing happened to me, and I asked to my Shiksha Guru, so what is happening with me? And he was explaining like it is the stage of chanting. So this stage will come. It is natural to experience these type of things, because anything happens, don't stop chanting. So keep chanting every day. So maintain your round every day, and this will automatically go away, and you will start to love chanting every day if you like maintain the rounds every day.
Very
So
good point. Thank you, Arjun Prabhu, that bringing
yes,
about that, talking about that. So Arjun actually brought out a very important aspect. When you start chanting, it is like cleaning a dusty room. If you have a room that has not been cleaned for say 1 year, dust has accumulated because the windows are open, dust has accumulated. Now you want to clean the room. What will happen when you start cleaning the room? All the dust, what happens to the dust? Suddenly it's everywhere. Dust is rising on your head and you are not able to breathe properly. Correct? You feel suffocation. So similarly, it is the experience of many people, many who take to chanting. All the negative qualities appear to be coming on top of your mind. It's in the beginning. I don't even remember when it happened to me, but in the beginning it happens that, oh, I'm feeling more angry now. I'm feeling more. It can happen. It doesn't need to happen for everyone. Uh, but if it happens, also make sure you don't stop chanting. You are only cleaning. Because there is dust, you should not stop sweeping the room. That is going to, even just tolerate, just be patient. It's just a matter of time when your room will be cleaned. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Kushwant, you want to say something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, today I learned about what is Hare Krishna. So Hare is source or power, uh, Krishna, and then what is Rama means. Um, and also we have seen that whatever the impurities that we have on that, if you chant or like Krishna, it will be all distracted or it will be purified.
Correct.
So you need to chant every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like we eat to keep our body fit and strong. Otherwise, if over a period of time, we will weaken. We haven't chanted in a lifetime so far. That is the reason we don't have any taste for chanting right now. But over a period of time, as you start this habit today, eventually you will chant more and more. Okay?
Yeah. And I think more than that, associating with devotees is more important because uh, you are meeting many people outside. Other than devotees, your mind can easily get distracted on other things. Um,
Yeah, very, very, very practical point.
yeah, and also they will say like when they see you other than devotees, they don't know the meaning of all those things, why you are doing. They try to pull you like you are wasting your life, or it is not required for you now. You can do after 60 or 70 years. Why you are doing right now? You are wasting your life. It is one life. Life is too short. You have to enjoy the things.
Yeah,
Uh,
lot of people.
maybe this is all like distraction in between. If you are involving with other people, you have to reconnect every day, recharge. Then you have to connect with senior devotees or other devotees who is in this path, or else he will get lost from the path.
Sangha is very important. Satsang. That's why
Yes.
we all come together. Better is in person. When we come together, we learn these subjects together. Our will to again learn these will increase, right? So to rekindle our spirit of devotion, to rekindle our spiritual desires, Every week we need to. Just like when a plant is just planted, very small, just in a budding stage. Every day you need to nurture with water, with fertilizer, with the protection, right? Like what Kushwant told was, it should be protected. Otherwise, an animal can come and trample in no time. When it is very budding, very young. So it's all the more important, especially in the beginning stages, like you are all in, to to not be influenced by the world of negativities, right? Especially people who are atheistic and all. Try to stay away from atheistic people who argue about negative aspect. You will learn how to argue with them, but you need that knowledge, and that base will be built over a period of. Today I can go and meet anybody, but it takes time to grow strong as a plant right now. So over a period of time, you gain the knowledge, you gain conviction, you gain experience of chanting, and that will have you, get deeper convictions. So we'll all grow. As we grow, we get stronger and stronger and stronger, right? Your life will be a bundle of joy. I can assure you that much. As long as you stick to Krishna consciousness all your life, right? Irrespective of what you have or what you don't have, yeah, Krishna is going to be there with you. Just like Arjuna did not have the Narayana Sena, 10,000 people, but Arjuna had one Krishna with him, and he was able to achieve the highest success. So that will be our life. Okay, that's what we are after. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you all very much. Did everybody cover, or anybody I missed? I think we covered everyone. Okay. So should we chant one round now? Do you all have a bead? Yeah, we can all chant one round. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री और श्री भाषा गौर भक्त
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
थैंक
Prabhu.
यू प्रभु जी
We'll again meet next week in person. Please try to be there. And if you have any friends, please feel free to bring them. We still can take them. Okay? Yeah. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.
थैंक यू हरे कृष्ण